We're going to show you here how to export your screwdriver and then get it set up in the 3D printer. So I have my file open here. I'm going to simply click on it, type export. I'm going to give it a name. In this case, the name doesn't matter so much to me because you're going to be using it to print. Then in our Save as Type, we want to find STL, stereolithography, and click on that. So here I'm just going to save it to the desktop and hit save. It's going to ask me this. Go ahead and say OK and OK again. And now our screwdriver is in a file type that the 3D printer can read. So I can exit out of Rhino and open up Studio. And just like I did before, we're going to click on Up. We're going to add our file. Go ahead and find it. In my case, I saved it to the desktop, and I'm looking for screwdriver. Now, when I bring that in, there's a couple things that I notice. One, it's on its side, and two, if I rotate this around, it's too long to print in the up. So there's a couple of things that we need to change. We could print it like this, but there's going to be a lot of support underneath that we don't necessarily want. The easiest way to print this file is going to be to print it vertical, where this part right here is on the bottom. So to do that, we go up here to the Up menu, and we click on the Rotate button, and it brings up the sub menu as well as some different arrows and circles that we can use. We want to rotate this 90 degrees on the x-axis, so we have X selected here. We can simply click on the 90 degrees, and it turns it upright. Now, we could have done that by dragging these. We could have used some other buttons in another way, but that is the easiest. So right there, it's at 90 degrees. This is on the bottom. But if you notice, it's down below the build plate. This button right here, when we hover over it, it says Auto Place. What that's going to do is place it so that it's actually on the build plate, and most of the time it's going to place it in the center of the build plate. But now if we look, we notice that it sticks up a little too far. So we need to scale it. So we're going to go over here. We have this button that's got two boxes with a little arrow in it. When you hover over it, it says Scale. If we click on that, it brings up a submenu. For this, we want to have X, Y, and Z all selected. What that will do is make sure that it scales it on every axis instead of just one. And we need to figure out what's going to be about right. I'm going to start with 0.8, so I can click on these out here, or I can punch in a scale factor right here. If it's greater than 1, it's going to make it bigger. If it's less than 1, it's going to make it smaller. So I'm going to try 0.8. Okay, that looks like it's within the build plate there. So I'm going to go over to the Print button so I can do a preview. But if we notice, this just turned red. Red is giving us a warning saying something's not right or it's outside of the build area. So we're going to exit out of that. We're going to go over here and hit the Undo button. So it takes it back to its original size. And we're going to have to scale it a little smaller than 0.8. The next one's 0.5, but that's pretty small. So I'm going to try 0.75. So if I click there and highlight that and type 0.75 and hit Enter, it shrinks it down and it keeps it placed on the bottom. Now we'll go back to the print and see if that turns red. And it doesn't. It stays the original color, so we're good to go. We're going to do it again at 65% infill, layer thickness of 0.25, unsolid. Go ahead and uncheck the support button. It may need on your model a little bit of support out here, and that's fine. And then you can hit preview to see how long it's going to take and how much material it's going to use. So it's slicing up there. It turns colors to show us what the different parts are. It says this will take 56 minutes. So that will print within one class period, which is perfect. So at this point, we can exit preview. We can unplug, or we can take our computer over to the 3D printer, get it initialized, calibrated, and print our screwdriver.